Hello everybody, good morning, Rose here. Today I'm doing a compilation of several things. I will be addressing the Sam's Bar Lounge video that dropped late last night. I'm also going to do a react to Foodie Beauty's live stream called Out and a Boot, and also her community post where she talks about the Sam's Bar Lounge video. So let's start with the elephant in the room. Let's talk about the Sam's Bar Lounge video that was released last night. As you guys know, I am not going to show the videos on my channel. If I think they're too triggering or upsetting, I'd rather just watch them and do a verbal recap. I'm someone that I've been through DV before, and I'm just not comfortable with the idea of exposing people on my channel to what I've seen in the videos. So I watched the video, and I will let everyone know who hasn't seen the video, if you are triggered with DV, if you are triggered by watching somebody hurt another person in a violent way, do not, and I'm telling you now, do not watch the video. It is quite violent, it is quite upsetting, and it's quite triggering. I will let you know what's in the video so you don't have to watch. Essentially, part 3 is still part of the same conversation that Dede had that night, where they were still going back and forth over her friend Shushu. Dede was crying, she was upset, and Nader was in another world, so to speak, with his temper. And during parts of the video, there were parts where Nader actually punches Dede, and she starts crying and begging for him to stop. She also hyperventilates, and he gets very, very irritated by that, the fact that she's hyperventilating, and she just can't stop herself from hyperventilating. There's also another part off camera where she feels threatened because he's coming at her with a knife. Yeah, the video was a lot. It was definitely a lot, and that's why I'm telling you all what happened in the video. So if you happen to go on Twitter and you see talk about it, if you don't want to watch it, and I seriously recommend that you don't have to. You know what's going on. I'm telling you. I went to Sam's Bar Lounge last night because there's been rumors circulating around that the next video to drop would be something about Chantal. I mean, we've all seen Chantal the last couple of days. She seems pretty nervous, like she said something or she did something that is going to wreck her channel. I figured since she was apologizing to her VIBs, that maybe she said something about her VIBs, maybe putting them down, maybe calling them stupid. And that's why she was freaking out, because that's on tape. I was hoping that what I saw last night would not be a continuation of Nader going after Dede. Unfortunately, it is more of the same. I don't know if the further chapters or episodes from Sam's Bar Lounge is going to contain more of that. I seriously hope not. I mean, because really, we don't need to see any more. We already know that he's a violent, abusive person. We don't need any more proof of that. We already know. I mean, the videos are proof enough. You don't really need to go any further. So that's what I was hoping to see. Something about Chantal, something that did not involve physical violence or DV. Unfortunately, that's what was on there. So Chantal this morning did a live stream where she talks about the Sam's Bar Lounge video and what's on it. She's got her thoughts, and I'm going to cover that too, as well as the community post. So let me just go ahead and share the screen so you guys can see what I see. A moment, please. There's Chantal. Before we get into the live stream, I'm going to go ahead and do this first. For anyone who doesn't want to watch the live stream, I wanted to bring up Chantal's community post, and this is what it said. She said, let's call Mike. Mike, we have a woman abuser who needs to be taught what BDSM really is. So for those who do not know who Mike is the lover of Shushu. Mike is a dom, and Shushu and Dede have subbed to him before. And apparently this is a bone of contention between Dede and Nader. For some reason, it makes Nader incredibly angry. I don't know if this intimate occasion happened before Nader arrived in the picture or after he showed up. But Nader is incredibly angry over the fact that Dede and Shushu were with another dom before him or during him. Very angry about that. And during the Sam's Bar Lounge video, where Dede points out, well, we're just friends, meaning her and Nader. You know, just what's the big deal? We're just friends. We're not in a relationship. Nader gets angry about that. Because that's something that Nader has said to Chantal, like, oh, we're just friends. So if you're just friends, why are you angry over your friend having sex with other people? If you're having sex with other people, like, it's just a friendship, right? The sense that I got from the Sam's Bar Lounge video is that Nader is somebody that he wants to have his cake and eat it too. But the rules for himself are different than the rules that he thinks are appropriate for other people. He can sleep with whoever he wants, but the person that he's with, even if it's just a friend, if there's an intimate relationship, you're not allowed to sleep with other people, especially somebody who's another dom. For some reason, he's very intimidated by that. He doesn't like that idea that there's another dom in the picture and a person that's around him who might be a submissive is having relations with that person. He didn't like being called out for the double standards. So here's Foodie saying, let's call Mike. You know what, Foodie? No, let's not call Mike. I don't know this person, Mike. I don't know if he's really a dom or if he's play acting just like Nader. But if you call Mike, then what? He's going to go over to Nader's condo or Dede's condo and beat him up, and then he goes to jail. You're telling this guy Mike to go over and take care of Nader when you could have taken care of him a long time ago. If he was abusive, you could have done something. You could have gone to the cops. You could have reported him long before this and put his ass in jail. Period. And you didn't, because you loved him. You could have taken care of it quite easily, but you got so wrapped around and obsessed with the guy, you didn't do anything. You went to the cops, then you took the charges away. So if you try to go to the cops now, your credibility is zero. They would never believe you. But you're wanting an outsider to take care of Nader, to risk going to jail for Nader. As far as being taught what BDSM really is, BDSM is not abusive. It's about consent, but it's not about people abusing other people. That's for sure. I don't know the extent of the relationship you had with Nader, what the boundaries were, if you're into sadomasochism and he's a sadist and you're the masochist. I don't know. Because of everything being on YouTube and everything that's happened, it's hard to know where the lines are or were at the time. But I do know this. I know you're still talking to him. I know you're still paying his phone bill. And the way you've been behaving lately, you're making it pretty obvious, Chantal. You're leaving too many breadcrumbs that you're going to see him, that you're talking to him somehow. You're being extremely obvious. And maybe you want that. Maybe you're so desperate to be linked to this loser man that you want everyone to know that you're seeing him. And if you're seeing him and if you're talking to him, what that tells me is that you don't care if he's abusive. You really don't care. And if Dede is being abused, and she is, the unfortunate thing is there's nothing that any of us can do to help her. She's got to help herself. She's got to go to the authorities. She's got to report him. Until she does that, nobody can do anything. The authorities can't do anything until she steps up and she does something. She's got to make that first step. Dede and Nader were on a live stream recently, and she was saying that she would never leave him for as long as she lives. Well, Dede, you made that statement, but just think about what you said. For as long as you live. You are living with a pile of dynamite, so how long will you live? I'm not saying I want you to die, but you're making it sound like you and Nat are going to grow old together. He's a violent person. There's a chance he might not let that happen. And he's not worth it. He's not worth getting hurt over. He's really not worth it. But it's your life, and nobody can step in. You got to make that first step. You've got to step in and you got to change things. Nobody else can do anything. The cops are powerless to help you until you report him. So until that happens, I mean, what's going to happen is what's going to happen, unfortunately. Let's see. The Fragile says, towards the end of the live stream, JK said that after the video SBL puts out about you, you will either be ruined after it or you will go insane. Well, that was the video I was waiting for. I did not want to see any more abuse on film. The first two chapters were bad enough. I didn't want to see another one. I was hoping that was it. We don't need any more confirmation he's an abusive jerk. We don't need any confirmation more that he's violent. We don't need any further proof. We've seen it. And I hope that there's no more of this. There are no more videos coming out of him doing stuff to Dede. I don't want to see it. I really don't want to see it. I don't want to be triggered. I don't want anybody else to be triggered. I hope that was it. I mean, if Sam's Bar Lounge has video where Foodie is running her mouth, talking about her VIBs or pizza or whatnot, I mean, that would be better than showing a woman being abused on camera. Huey and Louie says Chantal is a willing accomplice. She even gave him a fake alibi for Grape. I have to say it like that because of YouTube. Yes, she did. She did give him an alibi. And it like I said, it blows my mind that he is the person that he is, and yet these women insist on protecting him. The irony of it all, the fact that they protect him, and yet he does not protect them against harm. He causes harm to them. He causes them harm. They go out of their way and they bend over backwards to protect this violent man. And yet, what does he do to protect them? Nothing. He puts them in harm's way. He causes them harm. Jang says he's so obsessed with hurting Shirley, it's scary. Dede saying she's got a good head on her shoulders. Girl, he's about to knock it off. Keep defending him. You know what, Nader? You got a harem. You got women who are chasing you. Why do you want a woman that doesn't want you? Just because they don't want you? Leave the situation alone. She doesn't want you. I mean, that's really pathetic. To call yourself a man and you're going to insist on being with a woman that does not want to be with you. Louise says he's not a bad person. He's not a bad person. Oh, he said last night in the video, like he's a bad person. Dede kept saying over and over, I'm a horrible person. And he said, oh, I'm worse. I'm criminal. He was actually proud of that fact. He was proud of the fact that he was a criminal. Like it was some sort of a flex. Oh, I'm criminal. I'm evil. I'm a monster. Yeah, you are. I will agree. No argument. You're proud of it. Brooklyn Brixton says, when Dede tried to kick him out, you were scrambling to ditch Pete and get an apartment to be with him. You knew exactly why she wanted him out, because he did the same thing to you. You know, even before the apartment situation, Foodie talked about the ways he hurt her. So I'm absolutely convinced she knew what he did. She knew what he was, and yet she wanted to live with him anyway. She was just desperate to be number one in his life, to have him all to herself. I'm backing up this horrible person. Lilu Witchy Poo says, weren't you the same person who desperately wanted to get an apartment after Dede wanted to kick him out? This wasn't long ago, and he's been terrible from day one. Stop latching on to Dede's hurt. Yeah, ever since these tapes started coming out, Chantal has been almost reveling in the fact that she can make it all about her. She's still trying to put the spotlight back on her. Like saying, look, 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 see, I was right. I wasn't lying. He hurt me too. Oh, he's a horrible person. Like I said, he's making it all about her. It's actually quite disgusting. Summerflower says, up until several weeks ago, you were still trying to get him to meet up with you. Remember when you were in the Lux Hotel and wanted to give him gifts and try to get him to come there to talk? The only reason you are so against him now is because you finally realized he's never going to agree to see you again. Had he met up with you that weekend and made amends, you would be whistling a different tune. I'm going to say it out loud. I think they're still talking. I think she's gone to meet him since then. Maybe money has changed hands. She's acting way too cheerful these days. And that whole trip to Montreal. Why go to Montreal? There are different areas of Canada. Why go to the same place where he is? Showing up and, changing her clothes to go out. And then Dede wearing a nice cocktail dress or blouse, which is something you don't wear around the house. That's something you wear specifically to go someplace nice. Why would you just sit there in her house dressed like that? I mean, you guys add it all together. Moni Max says, you gave him this platform. You set up his accounts up. You did it all. The other day you said you had nothing to do with his account setup. But then, as always, clips of you ranting how you had to do it all, set it all up, respond to the email with codes for him, etc. You did give him his platform, even knowing what he was and is capable of. You indirectly have a huge part in all of this, kind of what Dede says, Chantal is the nucleus. A little piece of random important information I want to pass on to all of you. So, for those who don't have a YouTube channel, that you don't know what it is to be monetized, a little piece of information. When you get a channel and you get to the status on your channel where you can monetize things, what YouTube does is they will mail a code to you so you can activate your Google AdSense account. And then after a couple months later, you start getting paid. The mailing of the code takes a while. It takes, I believe, like 2 or 3 weeks, possibly longer. Why I'm bringing that up is that that's a good amount of time that you have to wait. And we all know that things move fast in the foodie beauty world. So even if she applied for monetization status for Nader, there was that 2, 3, or 4 week window where you had to wait for the code to come in. So, I mean, she had time to think it over. She had time to decide, hey, I want to give him a platform and let him get paid or not. And still after like 2, 3, 4 weeks, she still set it up. Insane Wall Street Beats Trade says, and you gave him a platform and told people to follow him, knowing exactly what he was like. And you said Dede deserved it for stealing him from you. You can't steal a person from another person. They go where they want to go. But Nader did not go to Dede because he loved her. He went to Dede because she had a home and he wanted to be out of the trap house. He wanted to be able to say, I live in a condo. It was about upgrading his lifestyle. I think we can all agree that he does not love Dede, because how can you love somebody and treat them the way that we've seen him treat her? Obviously, that's not about love. That's abusive. He latches on to people if it benefits him in some way, whether it's money, a place to live, contacts, whatever. He's all about what makes his life better, not what makes other people's lives better. Nobody was ever made better by knowing this man, and nobody ever will. Just Duchess XO says he probably never even abused Chantal. She had so many chances to leave and he wouldn't have cared. But she just kept on waddling back to him. She's only saying he abused her because Dede got him and she's seething about it. A woman scorned and all that. Chantal is just as bad as Nader, simple as that. Chantal's situation with Nader is different than Dede's situation with Nader, because she had her own home and she could go and she could visit him and then leave and go back home. Dede's actually living with Nader. Nader is in her home. And don't think I'm letting Dede off the hook for that. I'm not, because she inserted herself into this story. Yes, she did. She reached out to Nader. She started talking to Nader. She invited him to live in her home. She got the ball rolling. She wanted Nader and she got Nader. But I think she's realized she bit off more than she could chew, and what she wanted was not so great. She doesn't deserve to be abused. No person does. Dede invited him into her home, and I'm sure she's realized by now what a mistake that is. But Chantal always had a choice to stay away from Nader. She never has. And I don't think she's staying away from him now. Milky says, it was horrible. I feel so guilty for seeing it and not helping. That's the human in us. We see somebody getting hurt, we want to help, but unfortunately, because of the legal system, what can you do? I mean, unless the person who's being hurt steps up and says something, reports it, the police can't do anything, we can't do anything. You know, that's the worst part about it, is that you can't stop this person from hurting this person. Louise says, if I lived near, I would definitely give Pizza a room free of charge so he can get better without having to worry every week about you chucking him out because he's no longer serves a purpose to you. I believe you are mentally abusing him. Pizza's has gone downhill since you've been playing with his accommodation. You treat him like a slave. Modern slavery is a crime. I've been saying for a while now, Pete needs to get away from Chantal. He really does. He needs to tear himself away because he's put himself and his livelihood in her hands. Like, he depends solely upon her. And Chantal, she's talked more than once about getting rid of Pete. Not that she's obligated to take care of him for the rest of his life, but Pete needs to stop burying his head in the sand and realize that his living situation is not completely safe and secure. I mean, anything could happen to Chantal at any minute, and if something happens to her, it's not just her world that comes tumbling down, it's his too. He needs some exposure therapy. He needs someone to take him by the hand and lead him back into the world and find new friends and do new things. Be independent. If he was more independent, he would feel more secure because he wouldn't be relying on Chantal, and she's completely unreliable. But this is another situation of it's up to him. He's got to reach out. He's got to get help. Nobody can help him until that happens. Oh, oops. All right, there's a lot of responses here, but I want to get onto the live stream and cover part of that. So we'll just stop the responses there. Now we're going to cover the out and a boot live stream that Chantal did. So here we go, y'all.
And I hope that, no, espresso machine, they're expensive. Yeah, the person recording asked if she wanted the cops to be called, so that was good to, at least see it this time on that, but I don't really know what else to say about these things. Like, at this point, all we can do is just that Dede wakes up like I did and leaves. That's all we can do. Because, like, she was where I was, and he's doing, like, pretty much, like, these videos pretty.
I don't want to trigger anybody, but I want to point this out. So in the video, I guess the person who was watching, listening, asked Dede if she wanted the cops to be called. And a lot of people might ask the question, why didn't Dede say something then? Why didn't she tell the person to call the cops? I can give you a reason why not. Because Nader does live in her house. And let's just say the person said, yeah, go ahead, call the cops. It's going to take a while for the cops to get there. And in the meantime, she's alone with Nader and anything could happen. I mean, if he's got an explosive, violent temper, which he does have, if Dede had said, yeah, call the cops, that might have sent Nader over the edge. So maybe I'm not saying I know exactly what was in Dede's mind or what she thinks about, but if you're in a situation where you've got an abusive person in your house and they're right there in front of you and you can't get away, you know, it does take time for the authorities to arrive at your place. And even if it's just for a few minutes, anything can happen in that few minutes. I mean, in the video, he was threatening her with a knife, he punched her. Can you just imagine what else might have happened if she had told the person to call the cops?
Pretty much show like exactly he did exactly like what.
Thank you for waiting. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
Good, thank you. What can I get for you?
You got me touching on your body. Kind of my way. That's what I'm gonna do. Yeah. And then people being like, it's in the love bombing, exactly. Dude, I'm telling you that shit. Manipulations are really bad. And then, like, people, I saw someone be like, I knew about all this. Like, dude, I was in Cuba. I had no idea any of this drama was unfolding. You know, like, because for me, I thought I was the only one. You know? Hi, Emma.
You knew, Chantal. You knew. Because you spent an endless amount of time with Nader. You're still spending time with Nader. You know. And people who are like that are abusive, they rarely stop at one person. They continue the cycle with other people if one person leaves.
I know. I ordered didn't have any peanut butter and apples left, so I ordered oatmeal. I ordered oatmeal.
One thing about trying to eat healthy, Chantal, it's got to be consistent for it to work. Sitting there at night binging on fast food and the next morning eating apples and peanut butter, that's not going to help you get healthy. You've got to be consistent with the healthy eating, and you got to take care of your mental health. I know you hate the word therapy. I know you hate the word counseling, but you do need that, because I'm just going to say it the way I feel it. You're fucked up in the head. You are. You got a lot of issues. You got a lot of everything all jumbled together into one big messy ball of yarn. You need help, outside help, to straighten that out. You're an awful, rotten person. That needs to be straightened out too. And I'm not being sarcastic here. I'm just being factual. To straighten you out, it would take a team of people specializing in different things just to make some progress. You would need perhaps a psychotherapist, perhaps a psychiatrist, another person who specializes in eating problems. You need a team of people helping you. You would need a few doctors who specialize in different things. You would need almost a football team of different specialist doctors and people to straighten you out, because all of your issues are extreme. All of them. But you need to be consistent. You can't just sit there and say, oh, I ate apples and peanut butter this morning, so I'm going to give myself permission to go to Burger King tonight. No, ma'am. No. No, you can't do that. You can't justify binging late at night after you do the green.
Panicking at the night bar. Yeah, but we all know she's still here, right? So we don't. Oh, thank you so much. That's okay. Thank you. You too. I just got an oatmeal to bring with me because I haven't eaten. Like I woke up at like 7 today because I keep my like curtains open now. The sun just comes in my big window in my room, wakes me up naturally. I passed out pretty early last night, so I was happy actually. So I feel pretty good this morning. I just have to keep losing it, and she's not herself. So exactly where I was. So Now,
I'll tell you one thing that does worry me about the whole Nader Dede situation. I think it's safe to say that Nader does chemicals. Of what variety, I cannot exactly say, but I can guess. I believe maybe he might be doing math or cola. Whatever he's doing, it gets him extremely on edge, agitated, angry, violent. So on top of an already angry, violent person, you add substances, and that just tosses gasoline onto a fire. Like they get all hyped up and pumped up, and they want to take out their aggressions on somebody.
I did block her because I did reblock her. I am too much still in this to be able to help her. I'm still too um susceptible.
You know what, Chantal? Shut your mouth. You're in it because you want to be in it, because you keep talking about it, because you keep focusing on it. You could easily go and live your life. But this whole thing with these tapes coming out, you are desperately trying to make it all about you. All about you. You're trying to grab the spotlight somehow, and you shouldn't. You could easily just go on with your life and wash your hands and go, man, man, that's over for me. I'm sorry it's going on for somebody else, but I'm done here. But you're not done. You keep focusing on it. You keep watching him. It's like you want to be involved. It's I know this may sound sick to say, y'all, but Chantal, she loves attention so much that even in a situation like this, she still wants to be in the spotlight. She wants to take the spotlight away somehow.
Just like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just dangerous for me to be involved in anyway. So what I have to do is say, wish you well, Dede, and you know what to do. You need to, in my opinion, and the internet's opinion, you need to get him the fuck out of your house. That's all we can say. Also, you have to.
At this point, the only way that Dede could get Nader out of her house quickly is to put him in jail. See, here's the problem. He's been living there far too long. She can't just take his stuff, put it outside the door, and go, you're out. He can claim squatters' rights. And when somebody is squatting in your home, you have to go through the court system to get them out, and that takes a while. And in the meantime, they're living there. And there's nothing you can do about it. And if he's a violent, angry person, which he is, that's going to make him more violent and more angry, and that can get quite dangerous. The only way that Dede can get him out of the house quickly is to contact the authorities and say, this man has abused me, and I want him in jail. Take him away.
To be wary, like things that might trigger him in this case to like abuse her more. She might feel like a hostage in her house. Like, what do cops think? You're gonna pull her aside? She's obviously gonna lie for him. No, you need to fucking go and show up and kick his ass out. She's going to defend him. Abused women will always defend the men. Like, it's not ever going to.
Yeah, like you did.
Like she's going.
Not only did you defend him, you brought him to this platform. You did, Chantal. You set him up here, knowing what he was, knowing what he did, knowing how he did it. You brought him here. You did. You. You. You will never be able to escape that fact. I showed that clip not too long ago where you were on camera naming all the things you did for him. Setting him up on YouTube, creating his channel, going through the process of getting him monetized. All of it, you did that. Filming his videos, editing his videos, creating the thumbnails, encouraging your viewers, which a good portion of them are women, to go sub to him. Imagine that. You were over there claiming he's abusive to me, and yet you're going to ask your viewers to go sub to an abuser. Over and over again, promoting his channel, exposing other women to this man, encouraging them to talk to him. You did that. You did. And now he's here because of you. And don't sit there and lie to your audience about you're done with him. You're lying. You're not done. I'm going to die on the hill with this thought that what we saw on the tapes was abuse. That's pretty clear. That is very, very clear. But I still think Chantal and Nader are talking behind the scenes when the camera's off. The way things are, she will never, ever, ever be able to appear on his channel again or appear with him in public again. Not without something happening to her channel, people getting outraged and leaving her channel. She knows this, he knows this, but it doesn't mean they're not talking to each other behind the scenes. It doesn't mean she's not giving him money and supporting him. That's still going on. I mean, we have yet to hear about her turning off his phone that she pays for. He's an abusive person. He's horrible. He's a scumbag. He's evil, yet still paying the phone bill. Why? Why? He's all these things, but yet you're still financially supporting him. The fact that she's supporting him tells me everything I need to know about this.
Going to be hurt before you do anything about it at this point. So I really don't understand why the cops are not doing anything about it. Makes me feel like, no, they probably...
Because they can't. Because they can't. In order for the authorities to act, the person who is the victim has to come forward and charge that person with the hurt. They can't do anything. They can't just ram down the door and take him away. They have to have a legal reason to do so. And until Dede opens her mouth to the authorities and says something, they can't do anything.
Probably haven't seen the videos. I mean, really? Like, how can you watch that and then just be like, okay, well, if she says it's all right. No. No. Thanks, Maggie. He keeps saying he's ready for jail. Nice. That panic attack was not fake. Exactly, Karen. They're trained. They know abused women lie in fear. I just hope the Canadian legal system takes it into their own hands. Canada does have DV shelters, but, like, she just needs to fucking, like, claim her condo back, man. No. Sorry, when you hear her saying no man has ever hit like this, no man, no, that's not fucking BDSM. And I know it's not because, like, I know I've been through the same fucking shit she's just been through. Or, like, in that video, the same.
You're right. It's not BDSM. It's not. BDSM is consensual, safe play. And here's something else for Mr. Nader. Doms take care of themselves. They don't abuse them. Hence why I call him a fake dom. He's a dime store dom. Someone who puts on airs about himself that he's a dom, but he's not the real thing. You're a dime store dom, Nader. And you know what? Let me change that. You're not even a dom. But I came up with the term dime store dom after talking to people on Twitter who reached out to me who claimed to be doms, but they really weren't. He's not a real dom. He's somebody masquerading as a dom, picking out women who are not knowledgeable about the lifestyle and they're not educating themselves. They just hear the word dom and go wild. And those vulnerable women who don't know about the lifestyle, how things really go, they fall for it. They believe him when he says, oh, I know what I'm doing. You absolutely don't, Nader. And let me go on a record as saying this. Considering what I've seen in those tapes, I would love to take you into Minecraft. I gotta borrow something from Charlie Gold, and we gotta do things in Minecraft now. I would love to take you in Minecraft and show you in Minecraft what it's like to deal with a situation where you're on the sub side. Take me and my flogger, Big Mama, and show you what it's like to have no safe words and no consent. Yeah, you wouldn't enjoy it. I'm just saying. In Minecraft, of course. Always in Minecraft.
Fucking thing, like, this guy just, like, I don't know. He's weird. Fuck. And you have to remember, like, I don't know, everybody in that situation was being manipulated by him, right? Like, even probably the person on the phone. Well, nobody has gotten back to me, Chantal Stalker. Nobody seems to give a shit. And this is another step of the whole DV experience, unfortunately, is the indifference of the justice system.
Huh? What do you mean? The indifference of the justice system. Chantal, you allegedly filed charges and then you took them back. So you're blaming the legal system for lack of action? What you should have done is A, not brought this fucker to YouTube in the first place. 2, when something happened to you, file charges immediately and let them stick. That's what you should have done. Don't sit there and put the blame on somebody else. The legal system is there to protect people who have been wronged in some way. But there's only so much they can do when they got a vengeful female like you, that you're not going to the cops for justice about anything that might have happened to you. You were doing it out of vengeance. Let's just be real. You were angry about Dede and Nader being together, and you were wanting to scare Nader and get Dede away from him. That's why you went to the cops, if in fact you did go. And then you turned around and took the charges away. So at that point, what can the legal system do? What can they do? The first step is you have to file charges and let them stick. Don't retract them. That way they can do their job. But it all starts with the person who's being wronged. You have to say, I have been wronged and I want justice. And then after that, let them handle you. You don't go right back to them and say, just kidding. Which is kind of what you did. And that's why you have zero credibility now, because you're playing with the legal system the same way you play around with the ER, going back and forth.
But what can I do, right? That's all, you know. You just went hugs and kisses. I don't want just hugs and kisses. Are you kidding? What's wrong with wanting hugs and kisses? Anyway, that's all. Look, BDSM, like, I was just like, I had, keep up the work on you, that's all you can do at this point. Dede, look it up when she's ready. He needs to encounter a real man. It's so true. It's like, yes, let's call Mike. Mike sounds like a real Dom. But you know why he's so mad? Because the real Dom, I don't want to piss him off anymore because he's with Dede and I don't want Dede to get fucking hurt anymore. Stop hitting women, you disgusting loser. One thing I will believe for certain that I heard him say in that video, I hate myself. I hate myself. He said it a couple times. Yeah, you hate yourself, so don't take it out on everyone else. That's what you're doing. You're taking it out on fucking women because you know you're a piece of shit. You're an insecure piece of crap. Like, you're insecure about Mike, the real Dom who got to have a threesome with Shushu and Dede, your dream. And it's not going to happen for you. Unless, you know what, it probably already happened, especially since I saw those pictures of Shushu and Dede in a sexual way. Like, the way they were.
How did you see those pictures? Who showed them to you?
Posing. Like, Dede, what are you doing? You let him.
You know, that's a chilling thought. If Nader pressured his way into doing something with Shushu and Dede, that it was about pressure and non-consent. If it was about a situation where I have to do this because if not, this person's going to go to my husband and tell them about my affair, that's a chilling thought. It's a horrible, disgusting thought.
Like, convince you to do that? No. And if not, I hope not. I hope not.
After that, I wish I could take him into Minecraft with my flogger Big Mama. I really do. In Minecraft. Doing in Minecraft.
But it's the entitlement for me. Like I was talking to my friend. We were talking about this, like entitlement, entitled to her condo, entitled to her income, entitled to her fucking Robinson pension, entitlement to her wine, her cigarettes, her life, her fucking vagina, her friends, entitlement to her best friend, entitlement to her hot best friend. Are you kidding me? No. Oh my god, kick him the fuck out, dude. It's not gonna get better. It's not going to. Like you have so much that. Like he has nothing. Don't let him take all your shit. I let him take my shit for way too long. So pathetic. You gotta get gas and like say things like that to me, like like they guilt trip you, like and make you hate the other person. It's so fucked. And I'm so it'll drive you literally insane and make you want to unalive yourself if you let it. Like on
Don't talk about that stuff on stream, Chantal. That's you talked about the unaliving thing more than once. You need to cut that out. You really need to cut that out. Seriously. You've done so much triggering on your channel the past year. You need to cut that out.
Honestly, the best thing is to just, oh my god, get out of it. Like at all costs, no matter what you do, the only thing that matters is leaving, and the rest will just follow. If you can just have that faith for like a short of just even a month, just like detox from him. I'm telling you, it fucking works. Like I get chest pain even just thinking about it. Yeah. My story. I have a right to talk about the abuse. Fuck that. Nader looked at JK when she asked.
What she really means is that she's got a right to talk about it and make money off of it, that's what makes this whole thing sickening. For over a year, she talked about Nader and what he did to her, and she made plenty of money off of it, money she shouldn't have made. And she still isn't shut up talking about it. This person who claims to be an empath, talking about it, triggering people, won't shut her mouth about it. For some reason, she wants to be a victim so bad of something, of everything. She wants so bad to claim to be a victim of DV, like it's some sort of trophy or badge or blue ribbon. Chantal, I am an actual victim. I was in a severe DV situation for 5 years. That was just one of them. I've had more than one DV relationship, but that was the longest one. And I don't look at that as a badge of honor, being in that situation. I don't look at that as a trophy to hold up high to everybody and go, I'm a victim. Look at me. I'm so proud of myself. No, it's a horrible thing. And you want to claim that so bad. Nobody wants to be a victim of SA or DV or CSA. Nobody wants that. It's not something you're proud of. It's just, if you're proud of anything, it's surviving that kind of trauma, getting on the other side of it, not wanting to be a victim of it. You're all kinds of fucked up and twisted if that's the way you think.
Asked if she should call the cops the way I look at my cat when it walks over my food. Apple pea. Yeah, Karen. The farms might get Mike's info. Mike needs to be. Who's PJ?
PJ would be pretty genius.
He's involved. You're such a man. You're involved in the biggest bitch drama ever. Are you kidding? Oh, God. What a loser. Jesus Christ, with a capital fucking L. I've never in my life.
there's a rumor going around. I don't know if it's true. I have no receipts that what's going on with Sam's Bar Lounge is that this footage might be coming from Pretty Genius. And it's been revealed that Pretty Genius is a femdom. And sometimes femdoms, when they are femdoms, they do things for pay. So perhaps if any of the footage is coming from Pretty Genius, if she's still working, maybe she's got to look over the footage and make sure it's okay before it's released. I don't know. But if she's still actively working, being a professional femdom and getting paid for it, she's got to look over the footage before, and she gives the okay before it's released. That's just a rumor. That's just a thought.
Life met a bigger loser. He has to sharpen those knives for the millionth time before he puts it out on anyone. He should not be around knives. He got charges while he was on probation. I know, nobody gives a fuck. Like, how is he invincible? The cops, if you're watching cops, you have blood on your fucking hands if you do nothing. You have blood on your hands. Seriously. It's bullshit. He is a squatter. He's just a bum who leeches off women.
Yeah, and you were so eager to have him around you. You were so eager to have him leech off of you exclusively, to the point where you wanted to get an apartment with this man. You were obsessed with the idea of having him all to yourself. All to yourself. That you talked about getting a place with him, not just once, but twice. Twice, Chantal. You are willing to leave your roommate and your cats behind for this man. You want love so badly, but yet you've got a roommate who would never dream about treating you the way that Nader treats women. And you've got unconditional love in your house. You've got your cats. Look how you neglect them. Look how you treat them. And they're always there wanting to love on you, and you can't be bothered. Your ideas of love are just so fucked up. Always running after the love for men, but yet you've got love in your own house, but you don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah. I'm dumb. Like, I can't see what they're doing. I would rather, like, what is that, like a trophy? Like, he's so gross. Ew.
You thought he was a trophy for a long time, and you still think he is. You're still trying to manipulate your way into his life, even now.
Objectively, Dede is 2,000,000 times too good for him. Everybody is too good for him. He's not even good for himself. She wasn't hitting no one, that's why. Exactly. Exactly. You just sent it, Aisha? Whenever he... I don't remember.
Here's something else, Chantal. I got a big question for you. And I know that you watch my videos because you're nosy. You watch everybody's videos. Question. If you hate Nader so much, and he's such a loser, he's a scumbag, he's evil, he's all the things you claim. A, why are you still paying for him? Why are you still paying his phone bill? B, and this is a big B, madam, so think this over carefully. If he's such a loser, how come whenever you do a community post or a video going off about him, you dirty delete? Like you're protecting him. Why do that? If you're so against him now, why are you still protecting him? You'll have your moments where you get mad, you rage in multiple community posts and videos, but as soon as you're done ranting and raving, you dirty delete. Like you don't want him to see or you don't want him to know. Like you're afraid of making him angry even now. Why protect him if you don't like him? Your mouth says you hate him, but your actions speak louder than your words. If you hate this man, you think he's evil, then stop fucking protecting him. Stop protecting him. Stop deleting the live stream. Stop deleting the community post. Let your rage stay out there for everybody to see. You want to ruin him? You want to ruin his channel? Let that stuff stay up. Back up your words. Because all we're seeing right now from you is words on a monetized channel and in monetized live streams where you expect super chats and membership signups and Google AdSense money. Stop protecting him. Stop it. If you want to rant and rave, leave it up. But what we reactors know, if you start going off about Nader, it's a guaranteed dirty delete, whatever it is. Community post, live stream, you'll get rid of it. You're still protecting him. And that is stomach turning, that you're protecting this abusive, evil man. You're protecting that? Is it worth protecting? No. It needs to be exposed. Stop dirty deleting everything that has to do with him.
He smacked me really hard a few times. And he did punch my arm. My arms. He punched me in my arms. Fucking coward piece of shit. Grabbed my face like really hard, like squeezed the fuck out of it. That hurt the most. That hurt the fucking most.
You're saying all this stuff that he did to you, but yet it wasn't too long ago that you were so desperate to be with this man, you rented a very expensive hotel room and you had a little green package prepared for him and you were wanting to give him money just to spend time with him. You see how everything looks weird, Chantal? You're coming on camera and you want to put the spotlight back on you, back on you, back on you. Oh, as the Sam's Bar Lounge video came out and it showed Dede getting hurt. But let me put the spotlight back on me. Let me talk about what he did to me. Oh, it was so horrible. If those things actually happen, yes, they are horrible. But you kept going back when you didn't have to. And you were renting out motel and hotel rooms to lure him away for little weekends and getaways behind the scenes. And you know what that suggests, Chantal, when you do things like that? It suggests that the person you're around, you're not afraid of. You're so not afraid of them that you want to spend time with them. You so want to spend time with them that you're willing to put down money to do so. That you'll pay for the hotel and motel rooms. And you'll buy the green and you'll buy the liquor and you'll buy everything for a little romantic getaway. When you do all that stuff, it suggests there's no fear there. It suggests that maybe things didn't happen the way that you say that they happened. You know, you got conflicting narratives going on, conflicting actions that don't make sense. And then you get mad because nobody believes you. But it's your fault when you say one thing and do another.
He cries for luxury in first class travel. Rage, fart, overshare. Yeah. And yeah, Dede yesterday. Sam's Bar Lounge probably waited right until after to release that. Right after they were finished raging at everyone how they're not lying and how she loves being abused by him. She doesn't. So don't let.
Oh, and don't think I didn't notice that after these tapes started coming out, suddenly Nader and Dede are dating. And recently, Chantal is over there. Chantal, I'm sorry. Dede is wearing the ring that Chantal bought for herself when she was claiming that she and Nader were allegedly in a relationship. Dede is wearing the Jafar ring. How tacky. How absolutely tacky. To sit there and be a woman and wear another woman's ring, claiming that she and Nader are in a relationship. It wasn't even a ring that Nader bought for her, which normally happens if you're a man and you love a woman and you want to get into a relationship, you buy their ring. But no, Nader is over there recycling a ring that Chantal bought for herself, claiming to be in a relationship with Nader. How tacky and disgusting is that?
Let that fool you. She doesn't know what she wants. She wants out, she just doesn't know it yet. I remember you jumping several times when he slapped your arms. Yeah, you get a reflex. Like when he does something with his hands, like it just triggers me. Like when he'd be around me close and he would do things with his hands, it would be like, ugh. You know what it
You know, I'm sorry. I watched all those live streams. I did not see any fear in Chantal whatsoever. I saw so little fear. Like she would, if she were really afraid of Nader, would she get on live stream and scream back and forth to him while they would both be doing live streams and screaming at each other? If she were really afraid of him, y'all remember that live stream she did where she drove over to his house to get her CPAP? She sat there standing on his porch when he had the door open and she was screaming at him to give back her stuff. There was no fear in her then. I mean, she's done many things showing she has no fear of him at all. And in a lot of cases, a lot of DV cases, if you've been abused, you are afraid of your abuser. You don't want to say or do anything to put them in a state of mind where they will hurt you in some way. And that's why I'm someone, I've been through DV. I never saw fear in Chantal. The vibe I got from her is that she wanted to push his buttons. She had absolutely no fear, none. To the point where she was so bold, she could sit there and scream in his face, not back down at all. That looks strange to me. That she's saying, oh yeah, like I was always flinching. I never saw that, not once, Chantal. I never saw the fear in your eyes. I saw anger, I saw rage, but I never saw fear.
I mean? But YouTube may delete his channel with the news covering it. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, it's hard to say. I'm so glad you're out. I was really scared for you. I had to back out some. I know. Yeah. We need a self-defense mace and stun gun arc.
You know, that's something else. A lot of people have been yelling and screaming for YouTube to do something about this, to get rid of his channel. And I'm sure his videos have been reported by lots of people. And sometimes it takes a while for YouTube to step in and do something. But honestly, they need to do something. They're the only ones who can. They're the only ones that can take down his channel. We reactors, we can't do anything. The viewers, you can't do it. We don't have the power. I think the only way that YouTube would do something is if word got out somehow to social media like news channels or whatnot, and they got a hold of the story, and then the bad press might put pressure on YouTube to do something. I don't know. It's obviously the viewers reporting the videos are not enough. For some reason, YouTube is not doing anything. So I don't know what it's going to take for Nader's channel to disappear. I really don't know. I mean, what else does he have to do? What else does he have to say?
Yes. We're gonna get it the most with Tiny in the big house. He would probably lie about it. Like, I can't believe literally anything he says. He will lie for it to suit his purpose. Like I said, he's a chameleon. You know?
And so are you. Do not try to sit there and put the spotlight on Nader and say he's the complete bad person. He's a monster. So are you, Chantal. Maybe that's why you and Nader get along, because you understand each other so well. You're so much alike in so many ways. He's your male doppelganger. as far as personality, as far as being rotten evil. You're both the same. You're both the same. The only difference between you two is your gender. You're both the same.
Yeah, you're right.
So that, you know what, we're going to cut it off here. The React is over an hour. We're going to cut it off here. I've got a lot of packing to do. You guys know I'm moving out of state in a couple of days. I got to start packing, cleaning things up. I've got a lot to accomplish today, but I want to do this React before I get started. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed this React video. If you have, please like and subscribe and leave a comment. Thank you very much for watching, and please take care. Bye-bye.